Good evening, friends and visitors to Albania. We are so glad to have you back with us once again. It's 6 o'clock, and that means it's now time for our English Flash News edition, in which we present a translated version of the Albanian news so that you can understand. I'm Daniel Cook, your host 6 days a week, and in today's news, many of Tirana's schools are operating without heat. The images that you are about to see are depicting the conditions in which our children are attending class. Specifically, these images show the conditions at the Ismail Chamali High School in the heart of the capital city. In the video, 3 students appear covered up with a blanket. The teachers have instructed the students to take a blanket with them to school, along with their books. The students have also been asked by the teachers to contribute funding to provide heat for the classrooms. Currently, in most of the primary and secondary schools in the capital, the students are learning in temperatures below zero. This has forced the principals to reduce class times. Even in schools where the heating system is functioning normally, the students complain that the heaters are only left running for about 2 hours a day. The local governments who are responsible for ensuring that adequate conditions exist in the schools and kindergartens often make promises to provide heat, but clearly they are not doing so. After the footage published by Ora News, the reaction of the municipality of Tirana was immediate. The municipality claims that the majority is responsible for this situation in the schools. According to the municipality, the majority has blocked their budget. Even though it has not snowed for several days now, there is still a lot of ice and frost in several areas of the country. There have been 7 cases of injury from people slipping and falling on ice in the city of Bulqiza. Overnight temperatures in Bulqiza have been as low as -17 degrees Celsius and -13 during the day. School hours have been shortened due to the conditions. In Korça, the situation is somewhat improved, as salt has been spread on the streets. But salt cannot be spread in the neighborhoods that are paved with cobblestone, and several people have been sent to the hospital with injuries and fractures from slipping on the ice. In Kukës, 3 people have been sent to the regional hospital with fractures. Currently, the temperatures in Kukës are fluctuating between -3 and -7 degrees Celsius. In Shkodra, there are no problems with frost in the city, but the low temperatures have still caused some problems. In Librazh, the streets are frosty, and there are temperatures of -10 degrees Celsius. School hours have also been reduced. The Minister of Energy was invited to our studio yesterday night to be a guest on the show Tonight Il Vetare. He was asked about the pollution in Balch caused by the Armo company. Minister Gjiknuri said that the case will be investigated. The minister admitted that the company's oil refineries are causing environmental pollution. He blamed this on the use of outdated technology. Minister Gjiknuri stated that he would be launching an investigation to determine how much pollution is being caused. He said, "If there are environmental problems, it is possible that they belong to another institution. However, I do believe that the pollution is happening, as it is an old factory. We will make a fair call." The minister also spoke about the oil prices. He explained why the decrease in international oil prices is not being reflected in the domestic market. He said, "Prices have gone to their minimum levels, jeopardizing the revenue. In Albania, the prices are as they should be, based on the new conditions. The prices in Albania are very similar to the prices of the region," said Gjiknuri. The minister spoke also about the harsh measures that are being taken against electricity abusers. He defined these measures as being necessary to save the energy system. "This policy comes for a good reason," he said. "Albania has been repeatedly threatened by a very great danger, which is the collapse of the energy system. Otherwise, the entire budget of this country would go only for electricity," said Mr. Gjiknuri. One of the economic experts says that inflation is decreasing in the country of Albania, which indicates a stagnant economy. According to Arjan Kadare, the Albanian economy is currently in a stalemate, and the value of the lek continues to drop. Low levels of economic growth and consumption in December have made the situation worse. According to Instat, in December of 2014, the change in the Consumer Price Index is 0.7% this year, while a year ago it was at 1.9%. The experts are also saying that taxes have indeed increased here in Albania, but not at the 50% level that is being claimed by the opposition. The economic expert Zef Preci explains that tax increases are in fact a reality, but the exact percentage of the increase cannot be determined at this time. The balance of the fiscal burden at the end of the year will reveal how much they have actually increased. Preci called on the government to fight informality, saying that it can be found even in the highest levels of government and society. 2015 will be kind of a test year for the Albanian economy, as tax increases will bring more revenue to the budget, but in turn will bring fewer investments. The European Parliament member Knut Fleckenstein is here in Albania once again, this time to observe the progress of the resolution that was reached between the political parties. This visit is in context of a progress report that will be presented to the European Parliament. Mr. Fleckenstein held his first meeting with President Bujar Nishani, who informed him about the important reforms that are being made. The head of state expressed regret to Fleckenstein that there is no platform for justice reform as of yet. He said that there has been a delay in the political dialogue despite the commitments that have been made for a comprehensive reform. Mr. Fleckenstein said that he holds the conviction that Albania belongs to Europe and that its membership is only a matter of time. He emphasized three important issues for the integration process: the rule of law, a European political culture, and greater engagement of the civil society. After his meeting with President Nishani, Fleckenstein was received by the Parliament Speaker Ilir Meta. They discussed the process of Albania's EU integration with particular focus on consolidating political dialogue and cooperation in the Assembly. In this context, Mr. Meta praised the return of the opposition to Parliament in December. He emphasized his willingness to welcome more active engagement of all the political parties, as well as civil society and stakeholders, in order to fulfill the priorities that are required for the country's European integration. Later, the European MP held a meeting with the Democratic Party chairman, Lulazim Basha, who familiarized him with the country's latest developments, which according to him are concerning. Basha told him that the government is promoting lawlessness and massive violations of human rights. According to the Democratic Party chairman, the decriminalization of Parliament has become more than necessary based upon the recent events in Tirana. Basha also expressed his concern for the territorial division, considering it to be a map only for the interests of Rama and Meta. The chairman of the New Democratic Spirit Party spoke out in very harsh words today against the recent actions of the Democratic Party. Bamir Topi says that the opposition has displayed terrible behavior and that they have only returned to the parliament in order to keep their mandates. Topi had criticism for the parliament as well. He said, "The behavior of the Albanian opposition has been a disease. The country needs a consolidated opposition and majority. The parliament itself has problems, and it does not work properly." The president of Albania has held an annual reception with the Albanian media, just 2 days after the attack in France that left 10 journalists dead. The president started the ceremony by paying homage to those who have lost their lives, dedicating to them a minute of silence. Expressing his esteem for the journalists and their work in 2014, which according to him was a difficult year, the head of state appealed to the media not to fall prey to politics. President Nishani called the media a guardian of democratic principles. According to him, the media should keep the truth as its only reference, and that silence from the media would be a very concerning thing. Nishani also asked the media to be careful to respect the rights of privacy. He said, when you respect the individual's right to privacy without confusing it with public information, when you give the right of public defense to the object of public criticism, you turn into a reliable partner of the Albanian society. In the reception, President Nishani decorated the News 24 journalist Enkaleda Skenderasi with special merits. The journalist lost her life in the course of her duty. The General Director of Theater held a press conference today in order to discuss the lack of heating in the Opera Theater. Ilir Kearney responded to the complaints of the artists about the lack of heating and the conditions of the rehearsal rooms. Kearney claims that some reconstruction of the Opera Theater is projected in this year's budget. At the press conference, Kearney publicized the artistic calendar. On January 10th, the theater will organize a gala in which artists from Albania and Kosovo will perform. Also, the soprano Ermonela Yaho is expected to appear on the stage of the Opera Theater in February. That concludes our news for this evening. We thank you so much for joining us. Please be with us again tomorrow at the same time for more translated news. Thanks and good night.